Hi and welcome. So today I wanted to share with you why you feel taken over when you emotionally eat and what you can do to help resolve this. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating expert. So today I wanted to share with you why you feel taken over by your emotional eating. This was something that I felt, and this is something that my clients experience as well. So, you might be thinking the same thing if you're here. So usually what this looks like, the different examples that I've seen of feeling taken over by your emotional eating is almost feeling like you are out of control with food. So at one of the more extreme ends, it's almost like you feel like a bus hit you, you wake up out of this trance, and all of a sudden you've eaten so many meals, you didn't even notice tasting the food or picking it up. It was just like you weren't there. And it's like something completely has taken you over. Other variations that I've heard and clients have had is watching themselves go to the fridge, just almost seeing themselves doing the things, but not having the ability to stop themselves. Or, consciously saying, okay, fine, I'm giving in, I'm going to eat this, and hiding in shame and sort of doing it because you feel like you have no other choice. And so these are some of the ways that I've seen clients be in this pattern. A lot of the times the pattern is really shameful. We feel a lot of shame when we're going through it or hiding because we don't have a stop. We don't know how to resolve this pattern. We don't know how to stop ourselves, and we've probably exhausted all of the things out there. So, a lot of the times we try the latest diet or exercise plan or surgery, pills, sometimes different therapies, hypnotherapies. I've seen so many lists of things that clients have tried and women have told me they've tried, and they still haven't resolved this pattern. And I think it's because we don't understand what's really going on. So why do you feel like you're being taken over? And so it's almost like you are being taken over. So emotional eating is a pattern that we develop when we're usually very young to help us cope with our emotions. And so if you can think back to being very little, we need our parents to help us regulate ourselves. We need our parents to model to us how to be with our emotions. And when that doesn't happen and we're not helped with our emotions because we don't have the ability, we don't quite have that ability at that young age to regulate ourselves and to feel through our emotions, and kind of on a bigger scale in our society, this is the pattern that's perpetuated. So we just keep living this pattern. We don't get it modeled by our parents how to be with emotions because they probably didn't know. And so we have emotions and we feel discomfort and we have stress, and it's happening on a body level and a sensation level. And when we're not able to process and move through that, and our parents or caregivers, we sense, something's wrong with us, we hold a lot of shame. And those sensations, they live within us and we don't know what to do with them. So we're not being taught what to do with them. And then we're feeling the sense of shame, and then we're looking for a way to cope. And this is how we stumble upon emotional eating. So usually, food is really tied into love. You can think about breastfeeding. And so it's tied into nourishment and love. And there's this association. And so we already know food makes us feel good. And every time we do something that makes us feel good, it kind of takes the edge off of the discomfort. It doesn't get rid of it. It doesn't shift it. It just kind of gives us this Band-Aid solution. And so we perpetually live with this discomfort when it gets triggered throughout our lives. And eventually, as emotional eaters, we might not realize how this pattern is playing out because, you're not usually going through, hopefully not, daily stress or big stressors as a child. It tends to happen as you sort of grow and you're having more day-to-day stress in your life and not able to manage it, that you really see the pattern. Or, it becomes an issue when you start physically seeing the pattern. So it starts showing itself as weight gain or, disease, chronic issues, inflammation, digestive issues, the list goes on, because now our body can't physically cope, even though the food is still playing a part in helping us, have that Band-Aid solution. So essentially, we develop this pattern because of this, but what's going on a deeper level is that we create this part of us, this association, that whenever we are triggered into our emotions, another part of us comes up and says, let's emotionally eat. So it's a way to protect ourselves. It's a way to help mitigate the stress, to help the discomfort. And because of the way we've developed, this pattern becomes very strong. It's reinforced time and time again. And it's almost like we have multiple parts of us inside of us. So as soon as the stress is triggered, this part is like, okay, I'm here. Let me do what I need to do. It's almost like if you have to go to a meeting or something like that, you kind of have a certain persona, let's say. So we have these different parts of us, and this part is unconscious. It's very strong. We're not in communication with it, and so it takes us over. And that's why we feel like our present self, maybe our conscious self, is watching ourselves do something, being taken over, almost like possessed by this other part, because that's what's happening. And so when we don't know how to work with this part, it just keeps going. So we try the diets and the willpower and all of the external things, and it's just like piling things on top of it. It's actually not, we're not opening up to that part. We're not communicating. We're not in relationship with that part. And we can't help it to transform if we're not in contact with it. And this is a big part of the emotional eating evolution program, is getting into contact with this pattern, this part, to see when it comes up and to be able to transform it. And so the way I love to do this with clients is through a lot of the work and awareness that we do through the program and through specific phases of the program, but actually doing the deeper work. So I work with clients through somatic meditations, with parts work, where we can get in contact with this part of us, because it's so sort of subconscious, it's so unconscious, that us just trying to force it is not helpful. We need to be in relationship with it in order to shift the pattern and to actually meet the needs that it's trying to meet, and to help it really resolve when this pattern was created. So it is possible. And if we don't understand at the deeper level what's going on, we kind of miss the boat. And yes, if we keep repeating a new pattern and we're able to willpower our way, and yes, that's how we develop new ways of being, is that we have a bit of willpower or motivation and we keep adding in this new habit. But that happens and that develops when we have no resistance or blockage to it. With emotional eating, we have a huge resistance to just being a different way, because we have this part of us that emotionally eats. We have these unresolved emotions that we need to really look at. And so we need to go deeper. If we had nothing in the way and we just wanted to develop a new habit, we could, because we would have no resistance to it. We'd have no part of us sort of pulling at us. And because emotional eating usually develops because of this trauma, and it doesn't have to be big or small, just not having our emotions witnessed, not being validated time and time again, to me, this is a big trauma. This creates this pattern. This creates this sort of disconnection with ourselves. And so when we're able to get to that level, we get to open up to this part, connect back to ourselves, to our bodies. We get to, release whatever happened in the past at the root and clear it out and create a new way forward. That's really powerful. And that's going to help us feel confident in our body, at ease around food. And so this is a huge part of the process, but we need the little pieces and the other areas as well, because now this pattern has grown after so many years. It's kind of simple, but it's not as easy. There's just many layers we need to go through, but it is so possible to move through your emotional eating. So if what I'm saying to you is resonating or you have any questions, please let me know below. I'd also love to invite you to check out the Emotional Eating Evolution program. So in this program, this is my program to help you resolve your emotional eating at the root. We go through this process along with true nourishment and body acceptance, which are other important pieces, along with the emotional wellness piece, to help you really resolve your emotional eating so that you can create that confidence, ease, and freedom in your body and around food sustainably. So you can check that out below. And if you're interested and you're ready to commit to yourself, or you want to see how the program can support you, you can also book in an emotional eating assessment call. So on the call, we find out more about you, where you're at, and what your goals are and how we can help you bridge that gap. So you can find out more below. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't. And I look forward to sharing more with you. And I hope you have a great day.